Hey, what's up? It's Shade Actual, and I'm going to be reviewing my CZ SP-01 with Cajun Gunworks Pro Package, Dawson's sights, and lock grips. Here it is. Make sure it's safe. It is safe. So, I got into CZs about 2 years ago. I saw an SP-01 from Grantham when he did his video on the SP-01 Tactical, and I thought it looked beautiful, so I had to pick one up. So coincidentally, I had gotten a CZ SP-01 Tactical. That was my first CZ I ever owned. This one is the, as you can tell, the safety model. So I actually put a Cajun Gunworks, I think, standard or IDPA package in that one. This one has the Pro package, like I stated before. But I'll go into why I didn't like the Tactical, but I much prefer the standard safety SP-01. I'm gonna go over exactly what's in this gun really quickly so that you guys know before I start comparing them to the Tactical and other ones. So I have, like I said, the Pro package, which inside from top, I guess, to bottom, I'll start with the sights. I'll kind of work down. I have Dawson fiber optic front, stationary rear. I had the fully adjustable on the Tactical, and it was way better than just the blacked out rear. Next, down below, I have extended firing pin, reduced power spring, and the upgraded firing pin retaining pin, which you absolutely need. The CZ one is trash if you know anything about CZs and their firing pin, retaining pins, roll pins. I hope you guys like my Christmas cup. So right below the firing pin, I guess the lower of it, I have, so on the outside I have the shadow safety, which kind of works as a gas pedal. It's super nice. Next I have the race hammer. I really like this hammer compared to their other offerings because it's, at least on this model, the manual safety, because it makes it super easy to decock. Your finger can just get right up in there when you're decocking. You can hold it there. You don't feel like it's gonna slip ever. So I'm gonna open this up. I guess if you don't know how to open it up, there's a notch right there and there. You line them up. It's super convenient on the Tactical because when you put it in half cocked, they'll line up, but with the regular, it doesn't exactly line up. Safety model kind of fucks you, and they kind of make it a little bit more difficult to break it apart. Yes, you use a magazine, you just fucking whack it out. It doesn't mar up your gun at all. I thought it would. It never marred up my CZ, so you just pull out the slide stop, which I have the Shadow extended slide stop. It's really not that extended. It doesn't make a difference. So now on the inside, oh, I forgot to mention, I'm also working with a stainless steel guide rod and lighter recoil spring. The lighter recoil spring really helps when you're trying to manipulate during a malfunction, if you ever have any. Stainless steel guide rod really doesn't matter. It's not a big fucking deal, but you need one because the plastic doesn't work with Cajun Gunworks. Cajun Gunworks fucking recoil springs. It's bullshit. Okay, so now on the bottom, I have, like I said, the race hammer. On the inside, I have the, I don't know if you can see it, my lighting's super shitty. I have their firing pin disconnector, not disconnector, sorry, firing pin block lifter. I have, which is right here. You can see if I can pull it up. Yeah, right there. And then I have the adjustable sear spring, or adjustable sear, which is super convenient. It just makes it super easy to get the sear lip to the right spot so the hammer falls super quickly. That really helps with the trigger. What else do I have? I have the Cajun Gunworks disconnector. I believe that is the short reset kit is the best thing you can get for any SP-01 or any CZ in general. Get a Cajun Gunworks short reset kit. I believe they have it for every single gun. And then so the disconnector, which connects to the trigger bar, which I've polished like everyone else. And then in here I do not have what you would usually have with the Cajun Gunworks Pro package. Is you would have a short lightened reset spring or trigger reset bar. Sorry, I just fucked that up. You'd have the lightened trigger return spring. In here I have the CZ custom return spring because it's a little bit heavier, but it's lighter than the OEM, but it's a little bit heavier than the Cajun Gunworks. The reset is more tactile, and if you're not shooting competitions, you want like something that kind of pushes your finger, get the CZ custom return spring, and you will be way happier with that. And then I have, you can't tell in here, but I have the stainless steel trigger retain pin, and then 85 trigger. You can get the flat face, but it makes it single action only by the way it's designed. If you don't want a flat trigger or a single action gun, stick with the 85. The OEM trigger, in my opinion, is trash. Some people like it. I didn't like it at all. And then I have my lock grips. On the inside I have a reduced power trigger bar spring, trigger bar spring, and smoothed out the trigger bar, or the hammer strut and hammer spring. I have reduced power hammer spring. I can't remember exactly, but if you're going to upgrade a CZ, get the two things that you really need: short reset system or a short reset kit, and new trigger bar springs. Trigger bar and hammer strut or hammer. Sorry, the two things you need are short reset kit and hammer springs. Those will make your CZ phenomenal. All right, let me get this together. So I'm going to talk about shooting really quick. Shooting this, I heard on the internet, and it kind of is true. A CZ makes, especially a SP-01 or a Shadow, makes any bad shooter a better shooter. It doesn't make you a great shooter, but it can make anyone shoot accurately. And it's the ergonomics really is what it boils down to. It's not the weight. It's not the weight alone, and it's not how the gun is built. It's just the ergonomics altogether. I guess people want to say that it has a super low bore axis and your hand is super high. It's pretty low. I don't know if it's like the lowest gun in the world, but with just how it's built and the reciprocation of the slide, the beaver tail, the tang, whatever you want to call it, the tang, the beaver tail, the grip, and the weight combined, everything's forward. It just feels super natural when you're shooting it, super flat. You've heard it everywhere, and I'm telling you now too. The trigger pull on this, because I have the Cajun or the CZ custom trigger spring, is about 3.5 pounds. If you wanted to put in the Cajun Gunworks lightened trigger spring, it would probably be, you'd probably get like 2.5. But here, I'll show you the trigger pull. So you get there, here it's in single action. You get there, you get to the wall, boom, it's done, and reset. You hear that reset? That's what I like. One more time, little take up, a little bit more, boom, and it's done. And then I'll do a double action. So we'll start from half cocked. It's pretty smooth. It's pretty hard to pull like this. I'll do it one more time. Try to do it smooth for you. You get to the wall, boom. Super smooth trigger. The trigger out the box of the CZ SP-01 Tactical is trash. This is a step up if you're just gonna keep stock. Get the manual. So the cost for all this, the cost for the gun, I paid $650, a little bit used. The Pro package was about $300. And then the sights were another $100. And the grips were, I think, like $50. I could be wrong. Some people might think that's a lot, but people pay for SIG 229s about the same cost of what I paid for this. Now you could find a used SP-01 Cajun Gunworks for about, you'd probably find one for $900. But it is what it is. That's how much I paid for everything. Was it worth it? I love this gun. Yes, it was worth it, and I would do it again if I haven't built every pretty much CZ that I've wanted to. I haven't built a Shadow 2 with a SRO. That's my next CZ that I will own. So if you've never, so right now Cajun Gunworks has like a 3-week period wait to send it to them, and then it's another 6 to 8 weeks. So I'm going to be talking about right now, if you build this on your own, how this would go. For me, when I built my tactical and this one, when I built my tactical, I wasn't really too experienced with like working on guns. I'm not like a fucking huge gunsmith. I know how to put together guns. I know how they operate pretty well. But when I put together the tactical, that was a learning experience for sure. It's like the only hard part about it was setting up the sear of the tactical. The sear of the tactical has 3 springs. The sear on the manual only has 2. And the 3rd spring on the tactical is the most fucking pain in the ass spring you could ever imagine to put in a gun. I'm sure there's a super easy way, but I looked online, and I mean, the way is the way, and there's one way of getting it on, and you're just gonna have to cuss and fucking be mad if you do it. The adjustable sear wasn't a pain. It's kind of weird to do it, and Loctiting it, you have to be like ready to go and know what you're doing when you're doing the adjustable sear. If you're not doing an adjustable sear, it's not too hard. So if you're thinking about building an SP-01 and putting Cajun Gunworks parts in it, or any CZ in general, it's definitely doable. You need the right tools, and about the right tools is the right set of punches, and that's about it. Right set of punches and a good ball peen hammer, and everything else will be all right. It's going to take a lot of time, but there's plenty of sources on the internet. You can call Cajun Gunworks if you have any questions, if something's not working. They'll help you out. They're super helpful there. They don't want to they're not like those types of people that want to be like, oh, you must send your gun to me for me to help you or work on it. They're super helpful if you buy their stuff. Give them a call if you don't understand what to do, and they'll probably send you pictures. They did that to me once or twice with different guns. So if you're thinking about building it, plenty of resources online. Watch a bunch of videos before you do it. Kind of run it through your head. Look at the gun up and down. Yeah, I would suggest building the manual before a tactical, but that's just me. So now I'm going to compare this gun to a few other guns, mainly a Glock 17, which is its polymer counterpart. I know it's a striker fire versus single action, or double action, single action, hammer fired, but it's what most people are going to be thinking about. So I'm going to compare them, and then I'm going to compare this to my tactical, which I don't have anymore, which had full Cajun Gunworks, like I've been saying. So I'm going to compare it to my tactical since I don't have it here really quick. Factory, OEM, both together, manual safety is way better. I'm going to tell you that now, so if you're not going to do anything to it, get a manual safety unless you absolutely need the decocker, the tactical. God gives you, or whatever you want to believe in, gives you a decocker. You're born with them. It's not that hard to decock without fucking blowing a hole in your fucking roof. Learn how to do it, but that's neither here nor there. The tactical's nice. The trigger out of the box is shittier, and they're harder to work on. I'm trying to think of a pro for them. The pro is that it has a decocker. I don't know. The pros of an SP-01 is they're easier to work on. The trigger is better because there's less going on in the sear. And it's just a SP-01. They're the sexiest looking gun. Now then, comparing it to a Glock 17, I have a Gen 5. It is also clear. Comparing it to a Glock 17, this is my Gen 5. I'm trying to put a RMR on it. Size comparison, I know you can't really tell too much. Let me get them. So here it is. The Glock is thicker. The SP-01 is definitely a little bit slimmer on the top, which is kind of a con for it compared to it. Sideways, you really can't tell, but there is a little bit longer grip on the Glock. Yeah, a little bit longer grip on the Glock. Surprisingly, the back of them isn't too big. The Glock is definitely a little bit bigger. And the back strap on a Glock is definitely just blocky. Surprisingly, I kind of like how Glocks feel. Some people don't. So comparing this to a striker fired trigger, this wins all day in single action. Even in double action, depending on how you feel, if you practice with it, you can get super competent with it and have that straight pull. This is a much heavier gun than a Glock. I can conceal carry a Glock and I'm 6 foot 175. I would never in my life try to conceal carry this. I would just never do it. It's ridiculous. There's so many better options. And I've seen people do it and I think they're just idiots or they only own this gun, which, whatever. Manipulating this gun for malfunctions is a challenge. That slide, like people talk about, is hard. The best way to do it, 2 fingers and you won't miss. If you try to fucking grab it with a full hand, you're probably gonna miss. If you think you're gonna have malfunction with this, you're most likely not. It's gonna be either a magazine or you fucking it up the gun. The only time I've ever had a malfunction on a CZ was on the first 10 rounds. I had a stovepipe on my tactical and then I never had one ever again. On any CZ that I've owned, not to say that it won't happen on yours, but CZs are super reliable guns. Just out of the box, super reliable. I would bet my life on every CZ that I had pretty much. I would put my life on it. There's a few other guns in this world that I wouldn't do that, but this is one of them. What else can I go over? I think that's about it. Hit that subscribe button if you want to hear more about this. I can talk a little bit more. If you have any questions, shoot me a message. You can follow me on Instagram. It's shades_actual. Follow me there. You can look at my sick ass gun memes. If you have any questions, yeah, that's about it. Have a good day. Smile a little bit.